Scott Shell
is now joining.
All right, good morning and welcome to the work session for the Crawford County Commissioners
Jim
for
Becker
February 17th,
Is now joining.
2021. As you guys all know, we're still doing this by Zoom. So if you hear us with a little bit of a pause, we'll be waiting between the presenters to make sure if they choose to leave the room, it will enunciate that across the PA system. You'll hear that, just
Is
like
now
Garrett.
joining.
So we're getting used to it as we go, but we'll get through it. With that being said, we'll start with the Economic Progress Alliance.
I thought I heard Jim join.
I think Jim is there. Mr. Becker?
Can you hear me okay, Commissioner?
There you are, Jim. Go ahead, sir.
Morning, Jim.
Great, thank you. Thanks for having me. We're here today to talk briefly about a couple of cooperation agreements that are required for us to put in place from the Office of the Budget, having to do with two specific projects that received redevelopment assistance capital money from the Department of Community Economic Development and the Governor's Office directly. These two labeled as A and B on your work session agenda. The first one has to do with the Meadville Medical Centers project, which is the Vernon Place job generator at 322 and Route 19. These agreements, cooperations agreements, are part of an application process, if you will, a business plan process to allow the projects to move forward and have the Office of the Budget release the funds once the project is completed and funds are expended correctly. I bring to your attention that that's the reason for the tab designation on each one of these. These are part of a much larger application process. I call your attention on the second page of the agreement where it talks about items 1 through 10. Item 3, it talks about the alliance, meaning the Economic Progress Alliance. We will prepare the appropriate project, business plan, and application for the Office of the Budget, which is what we are doing with this. The Alliance administers the grant on behalf of Meadville Medical Center, and we also enter into contracts that allow for the appropriate contractors in conjunction with our partner PCE, the engineer of the responsible party. We enter into all the grant agreements and follow the RACP guidelines. As part of this process and these types of funds, the Commonwealth requires basically a taxing body to be a co-partner, if you will, as part of the project. So if in the event the Progress Alliance, the engineers, Meadville Medical Center, and the state of Pennsylvania pay a vendor by mistake, they have a taxing body available to fix that mistake. But also in this agreement on item 6, it shows that the Alliance shall reimburse the county if anything like that ever happens. We have not, I don't know of a time when this has happened, but it's a legal provision put in place so they have a taxing entity to have the ability to raise funds in the unlikely event that a payment that should not have been made is made to a vendor and then not corrected in following litigation. The first agreement is for the Meadville Medical Center project. The second agreement with the same language and the same program is for the French Creek. The French Creek project, the district initiative that we created and received some capital, some RACP funds for at a previous date. After talking with Commissioner Soft, we thought it was good to put both of these through at the same time while we were having this conversation. So I welcome any comments or any questions you have. I'd be happy to entertain them.
Any questions?
No, I think these are both great projects, and I appreciate the fact that the Economic Progress Alliance will take the lead and frankly do all the legwork on it. So they'll both benefit the county, no doubt.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have any questions. The main question I have was, what happens if the county
that thing did, ever did happen, but we're covered with that.
Okay.
And I appreciate the EPAC doing that, so,
All right.
and taking this project on.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the district attorney?
Good
Jim
morning, this
Becker
is Francis Schultz.
Almost.
is now exiting.
You're good. Go ahead, Francis.
I'm requesting approval for the 2021 dues to the Pennsylvania Bar Association and the Crawford County Bar Association for the attorneys that are employed here in the amount of $1,981. This is a budgeted amount.
Okay. Any questions for Francis?
Nope.
No, sir.
Thank you, Francis.
Thanks, Francis.
Thank you.
Thank you, have a great day. I'm
You
gonna
too.
sign off.
Okay.
Francis Schultz.
Is now exiting.
No, that worked good, that one.
Yeah.
All right, Veteran Services?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Tony.
Morning, Tony.
Yes, I'm here today to request to purchase an out-of-date laptop we have down here in Veteran Services. It is budgeted, and it's to the tune of $960.
Any questions for Tony?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Thank you, Tony.
Thanks, Tony.
Tony.
County Procurement?
Morning, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Morning, Mark.
This is for your acceptance of a pool of vendors to provide maintenance, repair, and diagnostic services for motor vehicles used by county departments. An advertised request for proposals process was conducted to solicit qualifications and pricing from garages interested in offering their services for the county's fleet of about 70 non-specialized vehicles. The RFP invited garages to submit information on their experience, personnel, capabilities, and resources for providing fleet maintenance. Asked garages to quote fixed pricing for certain services defined as preventive maintenance and canned jobs, hourly labor rates and percentage discounts on parts for maintenance work, and availability of auxiliary services such as alignment, towing, and body work. The RFP also set forth standards for service performance, management, reporting, and billing. 6 vendors submitted proposals, all presented fleet qualifications, all offered areas of discounted pricing, which of course varied some by vendors across the range of services. Through the pool, departments would have a choice of vendors to draw upon as vehicle maintenance or repair needs arise. Making up the pool would be Auto Works Service Center, Clayton's Auto Specialties, Howick Motors, Leonard's Auto Service and Towing, McKinney Ford, and Navy Run Automotive. Use of the vendors would be for an initial 2-year term with pricing to remain firm. Automatic 1-year extensions would follow, subject to mutual consent of the county and the individual vendor and a cost escalation ceiling. Ongoing use of a particular vendor would not be to any guaranteed extent and would be dependent upon satisfactory service under the requirements of the RFP. Your acceptance of the proposals from these vendors would enable the pool to be established.
Any questions for Mark?
Nope.
Thank you
Nope,
for all your
thank
work,
you,
Mark.
Francis.
Very
Thanks, Mark.
detailed. Appreciate it. Crawford County Coroner?
Good morning.
Good morning,
Scott.
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 2 items. One is a request for approval for the dues for the Pennsylvania Coroners Association in the amount of $625, which is a budgeted item. And the second one is our pathologist retainer fee with the Erie County Coroner's Office in the amount of $7,000.
Any questions for Scott?
No, sir.
Nope.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you,
Have a
Scott.
good day.
Thanks, Scott.
Okay, thank you.
Scott Shell.
Is now exiting.
All right, the courts?
Good morning, Ms. Heidi Scheiderle. Can you hear me?
Morning,
Morning,
Heidi. You
Heidi.
good?
Morning, Heidi.
Good morning. This morning, we're requesting ratification for a contract with Bonded Services to provide twice weekly cleaning services for the MDJ Titusville office for a total of $399 per month, effective immediately.
Okay, any questions for Heidi?
Nope.
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 All right, thank you, Heidi.
Thanks, Heidi.
Thanks.
All IT?
Morning, Tim.
Morning, Tim.
Good morning, Commissioners. IT is requesting ratification for a 3-year support subscription agreement for VMware 7 from Dell for $22,061.78. This will, by doing it 3 years instead of 1 year at a time, it'll save us like $1,000 a year.
Okay.
Great.
Any questions for Tim? Thank you,
Very
Tim.
good. Thank you.
Crawford County Maintenance?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning,
Morning,
Mark.
I'm asking approval to pay invoices for the courthouse remodeling project, specifically the new finance office, the amount of $85.79.
Okay.
I'm also asking approval to pay invoices for the courthouse remodeling project for the new third floor conference room in the amount of $100.71.
Okay. Any questions for Mark?
Nope.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Mark Felon,
Is now exiting.
This doesn't get old, does it?
No.
No, it doesn't.
All right. County Treasurer?
Good morning.
Morning, Christine.
Morning, Kristen.
Morning.
I'm requesting approval of an investment management agreement with Erie Bank for the Crawford County IMA account. This is an account, or this is an update that is required by the bank, and I did have the solicitor take a look at it.
Okay.
Secondly, I'm requesting approval to transfer Crawford County Self-Insurance Trust account into a newly set up insurance reserve savings account. This trust account was recently released by PA Department of Labor and Industry. This new account is in response to a requirement by PCHIP.
Okay.
This will cut down on some fees that we're getting charged from that account. That's why we want to get it out of there and into
okay.
a new account,
Right.
so. Requesting approval to transfer Crawford County Workers' Comp Claims account into a newly set up insurance reserve savings account. And this new account is in response to a requirement by PCHIP. It'll be the same account, so we're going to be combining those two into that new savings account.
Okay. Any questions for Christine?
Nope.
Nope.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Public Safety?
Good morning.
Morning,
Greg.
Greg.
Today we're asking you to ratify the additional payment of $5,999.34 to Collage Fire Equipment for the upfitting of the MPV. Primarily, that was due to the installation of the light tower. It was in addition to the original quotes of $41,734.47, and that was already paid to Collages in a total of $47,733.81.
Greg, also, just so you know, Greg did call them and check and see what the overage was. More technical, right, Greg, in regards to the installation progress?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in their defense, I was not happy with the overage, as we weren't aware it was going to be as much. However, that vehicle wasn't necessarily designed for public safety reasons, more for making pizza. So the roof was just not as structurally sound as needed to be, so they did have to shore that up quite a bit, which got them in a little bit over their heads, I believe. So.
Thank you. Okay.
Thanks for explaining that.
Yep.
Second, we'd like to request to ratify the purchase of a 2021 Ram 1500 from Apple Automotive at a cost of $24,364. That vehicle is being purchased out of the hazmat funds at no additional cost to the county.
Okay.
And finally, requesting approval to purchase a software package from Assure Express ID badge software for the public safety printing system, so we can make the badges throughout the county at a cost of $692. That'll be wireless funds used at no additional expense to the county.
Okay. Any questions for Greg?
Nope.
Thank you, sirs.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
Human Services, Gail?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Gail.
Greg Beveridge,
Is now exiting.
The first item I have this morning is a purchase requisition payment to Crawford County Commissioners for our share of the pension costs. The cost to the county is $79,029.73. Next, I have a purchase requisition to Dell. I've combined the 3 purchase requisitions listed, 2 laptops and 1 tablet bundle. The cost to the county is $590.64. Next item, I'm seeking ratification of purchase requisition
Timothy Brown,
Is now joining.
You're good. Go ahead.
Timothy Brown.
Oh,
is now exiting.
okay.
Seeking ratification of a purchase requisition to shred it and Stericycle for the shredding of 2 pallets, which is 80 boxes of files that have reached their expiration. The cost to the county is $37.43.
Okay.
Next is a 2021 CYS JPO contract with the Bear Foundation for the addition of treatment foster care. The cost to the county for this service is $16.73 per day. And the final item I have this morning is a 2021 CYS JPO contract with United Way of Western Crawford County for tracking and distribution. I'm sorry, it's not CYS JPO, it's MHID. For tracking and distribution of the forensic person-centered contingency funds. These funds are to be used to assist individuals with a mental health diagnosis who are also involved in the criminal justice system. These funds are intended to be short-term, one-time expenses that will assist an eligible individual to quickly establish or maintain decent, safe, and affordable housing in the community. These funds are available through a larger regional forensic plan that includes our northwest 3 counties of Mercer, Crawford, and Venango, and the southwest 6 counties of Armstrong, Indiana, Butler, Lawrence, Washington, and Westmoreland. The total contract is $50,168, and there's no cost to the county. Any questions?
Any questions for Gail?
Nope.
Thank you, Gail.
Thanks, Gail.
Thank you. I'll be staying on.
Okay, thank you. Crawford County Assessment?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Joe.
I have the following items to present to you this morning. Number A, requesting that the Board of Commissioners ratify and adopt the 2021 assessment and per capita rules at your earliest possibility. The total taxable assessment for Crawford County for 2021 is $1,236,584,951. The anticipated revenue from per capita is $238,190.
Okay.
Moving to item B, are any questions on that?
No, you're good.
Okay. Moving to item B, requesting approval of catastrophic loss refunds for the following: All Ball Realty LLC, $307.56 for a dwelling destroyed by fire on March the 21st, 2020, and Carol E. Brooks, $251.28 for a dwelling destroyed by fire on May 16th, 2020. On to item C, requesting approval of the refunds due to clerical errors for Forever Media in Hayfield Township, $2,224.68 for double assessment of commercial building, fencing, and Joshua Mckinney and Stephanie Yatzor in Sagertown Borough, $187.43 for an error on garage addition for measurements. Finally, requesting approval of the credit memos due to clerical errors for Stephen Petrullo and Vicki Braden in Meadville, $239.70 for an incorrect assessment of a rear dwelling addition, and David Crawford and Roberto Bowers in Titusville, $281.67 for a lack of deduction due to grade.
Any questions for Joe?
Nope.
All right, thank you, Joe.
Thanks.
Thank you. Assessment out.
Well, that works, I guess, too, as well.
Joe Galvo.
is now exiting.
Crawford County Planning?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning,
Hi,
Zach.
Zachary.
First item this morning, we're requesting to ratify an application and a contract for the COVID-19 Hospitality Industry Recovery Program, CHIRP. This is a grant out of Senate Bill 109 that was recently passed by the Commonwealth. We received an allocation amount of $958,539 for that program, and we are working with Economic Progress Alliance right now to scope it and put it out, but we need to ratify the application and contract.
Okay.
Next, we're requesting approval of a Meadville Tribune invoice in the amount of $458.25. These are for advertisements associated with the CDBG project in Linesville for their environmental review advertising. This is paid out of the Community Development Block Grant Program. And then the last item this morning is requesting approval of a cooperation agreement with Pennsylvania Environmental Council for project management services associated with our 1.5 million Appalachian Regional Commission grant. This is to extend the Erie to Pittsburgh Trail within Crawford County, Crawford, McKean, and Clarion counties.
Any questions for Zach? Nope. Zach, can you give an idea, just for the public, when we'll have more information on the hospitality grant? I know people have been asking.
Sure. So we are going to be working diligently over the next week with Economic Progress Alliance, Jim and his staff. We anticipate that by March 1st, we will have a rollout of the program in terms of guidelines, requirements, opportunities, how much is available. And we're going to build a web page as well as do mass media press to help inform and engage our business owners to get as much information as possible. We are likely to open up the application submission process on March 15th. It may be earlier than that, but at this point, for sure, at the latest, March 15th, we'll be accepting applications.
Okay, thank you.
I'm also going to stay on, Commissioners. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Thanks,
I appreciate that. We'll have to add it to our email we sent out. It's looking good, so. Crawford County Care Center?
Good morning.
Good morning, Tanya.
Morning, Tanya.
We would like to request approval of the contract CHC Solutions for Medicare Part B supplies.
Okay.
We would like to request approval of the access agreement with Meadville Medical Center, and that's to access the electronic health record.
Okay.
Request to ratify the creation of the clinical case manager position.
Okay.
Request to ratify elimination of the admissions and marketing position.
Okay.
Request to eliminate the co-activity director position.
Okay.
And request to eliminate the restorative coordinator position.
Okay. Any questions for Tanya?
Nope. Nope.
Okay. Thank you,
Thanks,
Tanya.
Okay, thank you so much. Enjoy your day. I'm going to jump off.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Tanya Moyer.
Is now exiting.
Okay.
Good morning.
Finance?
Morning, Stephanie.
I have for your approval 2 invoices totaling $189,929. The first is to Community Health Services. It's for fiscal year 2019-2020 reconciliation report. The amount is $184,417. That comes from the MATP block grant. The second is to the Northwest Commission. It's the 2021 Crawford County per capita dues in the amount of $5,512, and that comes from the boards and commissions dues. I also have for ratification 1 invoice totaling $214,200. That is for Dominion Voting. It's the 2021 Managed Service Program. Invoice number DVS 139437, and that comes out of the elections, rentals, and leases.
Okay.
Okay. Then also, I am bringing a contract with Mayor Dussel. They are our current outside auditors. They perform our audit function, and they are bringing us a contract for the fiscal year 2020 through 2024 audits. The first year, because we've had a relationship with them, they've actually given us a discount of 8% over what we paid this year. And then each year will go up 2%. So this year's would be $91,800 for the entire audit.
Okay. Any questions for Stephanie?
I have a question. The payment for the annual payment for Dominion Voting, is that not supposed to be for CapEx?
It'll come out of the CapEx, but it'll eventually get attributed to election rentals, but yeah, it will come out of the CapEx. Yeah.
Last year, we had some of those grants come in, so we're putting it here until we see all the monies that come into play, and then we'll relieve it accordingly. Yep.
Okay, Commissioner's Office?
First item I have is an Act 14, 67, 68, and 127 notification from Porter Consulting for an NPDES permit stormwater discharge associated with construction activities at Meadville Medical Center, Vernon Place. Second item is an Act 14, 67, 68, and 127 notification from BHE, GT, and S, the Eastern Gas Transmission and Storage, Inc. They plan to submit an application for the proposal to perform pipeline maintenance to a natural gas transmission pipeline in Pontiac Township.
Okay.
And I'll take the next one. Back in 2012, the Board of Commissioners passed a resolution designating the Crawford County Sheriff as the Chief of Security for the county courthouse and any other county properties that may be designated by the Commissioners. With the 2017 completion of the Judicial Center and the pending renovations to the courthouse, the Commissioners are reevaluating security issues as they pertain to those buildings. And so this resolution is to terminate the 2012 resolution.
Okay.
I would just say this does not mean we are not going to have a security presence at the front door.
Right.
Just so everyone is aware of that.
Okay. Thank you.
The last item is requesting ratification of the COVID-19 pandemic assistance payments to the following nonprofit organizations as determined by the CARES Act Committee. Meadville Women's Club, $4,000. Local EAA Chapter 1194, $2,500. Pontiac Lake High School Alumni Association, $2,500. Unsigned Santa, $5,000. Crawford Central Community Foundation, $7,500. Maplewood Tigers Football Booster, $7,500. Meadville Area Band Booster, $7,500. Cardinal Music Booster, $7,500. Titusville Council on the Arts, $1,000. Post 2006 VFW, $20,000. American Legion Post 111 Home Association, $20,000. VFW Post 169 James D. Bowers, $20,000.
Just a comment on that, we actually, as a committee, circled back to these nonprofits, correct, Gina, that we're able to assist them through the process, and this will be the last of the nonprofits, right, for us?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. And thank you both again for all your help with that. So.
Okay, and the last item is requesting ratification of the awards made by the Bar and Restaurant Assistance Program, the BARA program. They're Riverside Brewing, $75,920.96. Cannon's Chop House, $71,837.48. Voodoo Brewing, $63,827.08. Pampered Palate, $35,228.61. Rand's Inc., $30,559.04. Meadville Valenza Restaurant, $25,988. Pale Horse Industries, doing business as Julian's Bar and Grill, $25,518.64. Leo Enterprises, $24,619.15. Sprague Farm and Brew Works, $24,569. The Crooked Paddle, $19,478.56. J.I.'s Place, $19,442.04. Mortal Keys Brewing Company, $18,126. Willie G's, $15,419.32. Safari Bar, $14,954.40. Russell's Barbecue, $13,482. Chipper's Pub, $12,581.32. Ace's Bar and Grill, $12,504. Bacavi Cafe, $12,221.40. Chandy Inc., doing business as Playmakers Pub, $11,991.39. The Other Place, $11,886.28. L&M Eatery, $11,753.86. Roth School Tavern, $11,636.14. The Hotel Pontiac, $11,621. Smoke and Jay's, $11,287.56. Taro Bean Roasting Company, $9,068. Forest View Restaurant, $8,654. Mad Hatter Southwest Grill, $7,664.24. Bow Rock, $7,520. Java Tree Cafe, $7,419.44. Double D's Venango Hotel, $6,731.04. Market House Grill, $6,394.26. Jacobs Inc., $6,193.36. Making Memories Catering, $5,789.43. Kay's Cardinal Country Restaurant, $5,105. Round the Lake Kitchen, $3,815. And Veronica's Cafe, $3,026.29.
And again, those are all from BARA grant. The planning office did the actual assembly of the project, and we processed it through the CARES Act committee as well. And I think it shows the distribution is all throughout the county. I like that it's in multiple municipalities, east to Titusville, all the way west to Conneaut. I can see in northwestern Crawford County, so I'm happy with how that turned out. Any public comment today? Anybody call in? Commissioner comments? Commissioner Wiederspan.
Well, I'd just like to remind everyone, there was an article in the Meadville Tribune making mention that per county code, next Monday, the 22nd at 6 p.m. in the evening, we'll have a public meeting to set the elected officials' salaries for the years 2024 through 2027. Currently, they're set through 2023. So there's information on the website how to join that meeting from the public. So just like to let everyone know that's available.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Saul.
I would just like to remind people and encourage them to continue to support all the bars and restaurants throughout the county. And even though these grants will assist them, they're definitely not out of the woods, if you will, and they will continue to need our support. So I hope people continue to support them.
And I would echo that, and I think probably based on what the CARES committee was able to accomplish, we covered so many different grounds from, bars and restaurants, nonprofits, to even our partners in the municipal fields. I think it's important that we covered such a large group, so it's nice to see these numbers on a piece of paper, and appreciate everybody doing all their work. And hopefully that's the work we've done for a while, but we'll never know. Yeah. So we'll leave it at that. With that being said, I think we're done for today. The next meeting will be February 24th, and then March 3rd will be the next work session. Thank you.